having understood the lesson, shall we move on to the questions and answers? There are many important questions here. This lesson itself can be split into many parts. One is about the roof, second thing is about the villagers, about Marcus and all those things. But important from examination point of view, taking questions from the model papers, these could be jotted down as important questions for 4 mark and also for 6 marks. The first thing is, you can talk about the attitude of the villagers before the second election. The second election is very specifically mentioned here because they have made certain mistakes, and also there are certain positive qualities of the villagers in the first election. The first election, they have given Marcus, a very good victory. But what is the attitude, the change in their attitude? Just like how we have been mentioning, there was a radical change in their thinking. What was the change? Why did they have this kind of mentality or attitudinal change in their thinking before the election? So you will be writing down about what they saw from Marcus. He was a very common mission school teacher, but he got, once he won the election, he actually gets into politics by chance, and then he gets into, he gets power. After getting power, he becomes wealthy. He builds a mansion, palatial mansions, and then he has become very rich. He is ready to win for the second time also. So all these things, he spends a lot of money, he has all facilities that he has promised his village, but he is not giving those facilities to his villagers at all. So all these, the villagers observed and they understood that Marcus has become a very rich man, and they also feel that they had underrated the power of the ballot paper in the previous election. So now they have decided to exercise their franchisee, to give up their vote, to cast their vote for a profit. So that is the attitudinal change, that is a change in their attitude. So this much you will have to write, why they were forced to think in a different way. Those people who were very considerate in giving the vote to him, what made them change? So these things, they saw all the possible benefits that Marcus he experienced and he enjoyed. So that made them to think about this. So, the second question, it talks about Roof as a very clever manipulator. Roof is a very clever manipulator because he works for Marcus. He makes people believe that he works for Marcus. He is a very loyal servant. And because they like Roof very much, they'll also feel that whatever Roof is doing, he is doing something good itself. He makes, he gets the confidence of the villagers. He makes them feel that whatever he is doing is true and sincere. And but he is completely into Marcus' victory. But on the other hand, he manipulates the things. He has taken a bribe himself. He is also confused. He is in a confused state, and he himself, who is supposed to bribe the people, he himself has become a victim of bribe. But still here he wants to act according to his wish, according to what he has given up a promise. So he has worked for Marcus. He has voted for Maduka. He is benefited by working for Marcus, and he is benefited by voting for Maduka. So there he keeps up the promise for both of the people, and therefore he is a very good manipulator. He knows how to manipulate things. He knows how to take things into his advantage. Okay, the next one. Roof as a role, as a campaign leader. He is the best campaigner, most trusted and trustworthy campaign leader. You can talk about the dialogue and the scene that happened in Ezenwa's house. The villagers, they're all seated in one corner, on the floor. They're all talking about the shillings. The deal is happening. How Roof acts as a campaigner. Apart from that, the last bit of the story, when Roof on the day of election, he still continues his campaigning, and he campaigns, he reminds the illiterate women that they have to vote for the car so that they'll be benefited, their children will be benefited. So this kind of campaigning he does, and therefore he is a very successful campaigner. The last question for 4 mark would be, The lesson, it ridicules the power and selfishness of Marcus EBay. Explain this. See, nowhere in the lesson we are told that Marcus is a very selfish man. But he is selfish because he wants to win the election at any cost for the second time. He knows that he can make in lot of benefit and profit. So for this sake, to win the election, he has bribed the people, he has bought their votes, he has built mansions, as I was mentioning for this one. He has built mansions and palatial houses for himself. He owns two big cars. He has become rich, he has become wealthy. This same Marcus, who was in trouble because of a female teacher's complaint, this man has become a very rich man. So that shows that power, it can bring out any kind of change in the person. Selfishness, when you talk about it, he has bribed the people only to get back into power again. So that talks about selfishness. Even on the day of election, he wants to attract the people, he wants to convince the people that whatever he is doing only for their good. Whereas he has a selfish motto in that he wants to win a landslide victory, and therefore he definitely has got this selfish attitude in him. So this can be written for this answer. Coming to the 6-mark questions. Rufe was the most trusted campaigner. How far is it true? Again, you'll have to talk about the same thing, slightly extended manner. Talk about how good he was in manipulating people, trying to convince people, and he was very good in making people believe that they have to, at any cost, vote for Marcus only. So when you are writing a 6-mark question, 2 or 3 sentences here and there from the lesson will definitely help you. For example, I'm talking about the dialogue that happened between Rufe and Ezenwa. So that also you can add up. He also talks about the firewood. He as a campaigner has collected lot of firewood, and therefore he wants the people also to understand and use the benefit of firewood or the profit. So this can be answered in such manner. You have to slightly extend your answers. It is okay, you can do it. Do you think that the voter, this one is a kind of criticizing question. Do you think that the voter is right in demanding money from Marcus to vote? Here the voter is not one person. Any voter for that matter, anybody, it could be even Rufe. Any voter, they all wanted more and more money from Marcus. So the author here, the question is, were they justified in demanding more money? Was it fair on their part to demand money? So whatever you feel, you can write. If you feel no, it is not their justified action that they should be asking for money, because once you vote, you will have to just vote for your own satisfaction. If you feel that is correct, you can do it. Otherwise, if you feel that yes, they had all the rights, because anyway after voting, anyway after coming to power, these people will definitely mint money. And if you feel that minting money is, it is their right to earn money, to earn laurels, to earn honors, then it is definitely our right to vote for money. So you can write down these words from your text. You can tell that, yesterday we did not ask money, tomorrow we will not ask money, but today is our day, and therefore nobody wants to miss it off. You can also talk about the Ozo feast, wherein Ezenwa says, who will leave the Ozo feast and then go to a poor supper, poor dwellings food? We don't want to go to that. So you can write down all these things, and you can also talk about the best things that the election brings. You can, if you feel that that is correct, you definitely can put your words using all those points from the text. I hope this lesson is clearly understood now. So this was about the voter from Chinua Achebe. We'll see in the next session, we'll be meeting with a different lesson. Okay, see you till then.